Yo, what's up, everybody? This is like the pro of doing the countdown, is it gives everybody like a couple minutes. Because right now I'm talking to just you. There's no one watching yet. So, um, yeah, let me share this around a little bit. For some reason, your tag didn't work. Oh, I fucked it up. Damn it.
Boom, roasted.
Let me see if I can update it. Crypto update all.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Let me share this around a couple spots real quick. That was fun. Live with Danny. VIPs. Nah. All right, cool. Yeah, we got 7 people in here. Say what's up in the chat. Give us a GM. Tell us what's on your mind. Tell us what you're looking at today. If there's anything you want us to check out while we're here, uh, drop it in the chat and we will check it out. We're a little bit more prepared today than we were on Friday, but still, obviously, we're going to be working out some kinks as we go along. But appreciate you guys joining us. And we're a little bit later today. We had a Dallas Fun meeting, but we're going to be try to do this at noon every day. And so, yeah, I'm working on actually, Daniel, getting uh, a pretty good guess for tomorrow. I'm in talks with. I don't want. He didn't confirm this yet, but I'm in talks with Cab from Clanosaurs, which would be a pretty cool guest. Talk about community, kind of building on the entertainment side too, rather than like the straight up product side.
Yeah, I agree. I've been following Clanosaurs for a long time. They were one of the first projects on Solana that was really building when I moved over here. So
Yeah, obviously goaded. So hopefully we can secure that. But either way, plenty of things to talk about today. Uh, I don't know how much you're paying attention to the broad macro politics and things like that, but something that we kind of I think Trump met with Putin on Friday, and I was reading the articles this morning about like what happened or whatever, and it sounds like depends on what outlet you're looking at, right? It's like some are like saying like Trump did this great thing and is working towards peace in Ukraine and Russia, and then others are saying Trump sides with Putin because basically, I guess now Trump is in favor of Ukraine giving up land for Russia to stop the fighting, which is what Russia wants. So I don't know how much this is a W for Trump or not, but the markets are kind of dumping a little bit. I don't know if they're linked, but what are your thoughts on that?
the main thing I saw from that is that they were in Alaska and Trump had flown B-2 bombers or one B-2 bomber with like F-15s over that, like right when they were taking the podium, he sent like planes right overhead. So this is a great flex and like, oh, could have got you, but chose not to. So that's honestly the only thing I saw. I hope they figure out how to make peace. What are you going to do? I understand not wanting to give up your land. I also understand if the guy's got you pinned against the mat, you don't really have that much of a choice. You don't have that much bargaining power. So we'll see what happens on that. For the sake of for my self-interest, I hope they can resolve something soon and start pumping the markets again.
Right.
And
Yeah. I mean,
just for common
obviously,
decency.
obviously in general, anti-war. Less people dying, good. But I'm definitely looking at this through my bag's perspective more than anything.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Got to look out for number one.
Yeah, and you made a point the one time. I don't know, I forget what we were talking about, but you said like to me like war and these attacks and things should be bullish for Bitcoin, but for some reason it's not. And so, yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Stand
Yeah,
on that.
I saw a similar joke. Like inflation numbers came in hot last week, and then the coin started dumping. And the joke is like, well, if the dollar is getting weaker, why would you sell Ethereum or sell Bitcoin into dollars? Um, but that just is the way of the world. Like when push comes to shove, oh, there's a lot of inflation, rather hold dollars. A lot of war, the nation states are weakening, rather hold dollars. And it's a muscle memory that is going to be pretty hard to untrain. And even though like conceptually it might be more bullish crypto long term or even short term, it's going to be tough to retrain people on that.
Yeah. Well, I guess Trump is meeting with Zelensky today. I saw that somewhere, and so
Yeah, I
we'll
saw
see
that
we'll
too.
see how the market reacts to
Yeah.
whatever the hell comes out of that.
The only thing I saw is that Zelensky's wearing a T-shirt. So
He always is. He always is. I
yeah,
mean,
I think they requested that he would wear a suit, but he's still wearing a T-shirt. So this is,
that's
you
pretty
know,
based. That's actually pretty based.
I'll take the other side of it. I'll gladly take the other side of this one, which is, dang it all, you're representing the country. You are going to work. Like I wear a T-shirt to work. Sometimes I even wear a collared shirt. Come on, man. Like
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, even when we went to Solana Accelerate, I would pretty much dress like this, wearing a t-shirt and a hat pretty much every day. And you had like the polo on. You were looking a lot more business professional than I was.
yeah, you got to
But
look
we
the
we
part.
work in an industry where it's a little different, you know. It's
Yep.
not held to that standard. But I guess for a president of a country,
Yeah, especially if you're going to the people who are like basically financing and protecting you, and they ask you to do something out of respect, and then you're like, no. It's part of it. Like I do respect just like truly marching to the beat of your own drum, but um, yeah. Anyway, it's not that big of a deal. It's kind of related to the one we were talking about last week of the Bags app gentleman who then came out over the weekend after we had discussed it. He said, "Oh, by the way, Mr. Beast said no mentioning crypto, no mentioning my protocol." So that was his sort of defense for why he didn't mention it on Mr. Beast's stream. He said, "Well, I just got on a call like 2 seconds before. They said don't mention crypto. Please don't mention your project." And then everyone's like, "You should have just done it anyway." So that's it, in line with sort of the Zelensky approach of like, they said, please don't wear a t-shirt, please don't wear a t-shirt, please don't wear a t-shirt. Like we're about to give you something really nice, please don't wear a t-shirt. He shows up wearing a t-shirt, and this is what the leadership we were crying for from the gentleman named Finn the other week, or just like last week. So it's like maybe just
true.
don't listen to the rules. They're going to tell you what to do. Just don't listen to it.
Do what you want to do anyway, and ruin any
Yeah.
chance of you going on a Mr. Beast stream again. But I don't. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you only get one. You probably only get one, you know. But I saw Thread Guy was like on Aiden Ross's stream, I think over the weekend when Aiden and Mr. Beast were together streaming, and Thread Guy was like, "Mr. Beast, please come on my stream," blah blah blah, like, um, which would be, I guess, huge for Thread Guy and maybe huge for crypto, but Mr. Beast made a comment of like, "Oh, I got to make sure you're not like promoting gambling, promoting these things, blah 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 blah." Before because Mr. Beast has like a younger audience, I would say. So
Yep. Family friendly. Got to keep the nose clean.
yeah, GM Chris, thanks for joining us in chat. If you're watching, say what's up.
GM Chris.
If you have anything for us to check out, uh, put it in the chat, and we will definitely check it out. But yeah, I mean, we always kind of talk about Solana. We always kind of talk about the Launchpad game on Solana, obviously from a DAO's Fund perspective. And so, yeah, there was a new Launchpad that came out over the past couple days, and it's doing some good numbers, good significant numbers. But it's interesting that they are not on any of the leaderboards that we're used to, because they are not using Meteora or Radium for pools. They're using their own. So I know you did a little bit of a deep dive into Heaven.xyz, the Launchpad in question. So what's your take?
I think they've had a really nice open. They've done a lot of things well off the bat. Um, I think Heaven really appears to crypto native users. When you read through their docs, they say all sorts of stuff. They reference Ethereum, they reference trading on Ethereum, they reference trading, previous meme coins. It's like basic, like it's a lot of like insider knowledge that you and I know, but like an outsider might not know. So it's like definitely written for crypto native audiences. Um, I think I don't know. They've got an intact bull case as far as I'm concerned. I don't think they're going to be able to like wrestle the majority of the market away from pump. I do think they'll but they can definitely like make hellas and fees by just like you know getting their own niche. So um
Can you
they've
talk a little bit about their? Sorry to interrupt you, but can you talk a little bit about their fee structure? Because I think it's a pretty unique one, right?
Yeah, let's see if I can pull it up. I actually just have it right over here. What is features, fees? Let me share the screen just because. Okay. So basically, their fee structure is this. On all, this is what we're looking at. It gets complicated. This is like one of the downsides, is that it just is a little bit too complicated for the average user, but for guys who are just nerdy, that's fine. So they have two types of tokens. They have a creator token and a community token, a creator coin, and they set this by hand. So eh, anyway, there's the thing too, just the thing that's kind of hard about explaining how this works is they've basically tweaked every single aspect of the Dex and Launchpad experience just in a pretty minor way. They've made like tweaks to it all across the board. So it's like it's kind of hard just to explain one thing because it sort of attaches to their whole web of what they've changed. So the first thing that I want to mention is they've, instead of using a bonding curve and an LP pool, like as two separate things where they need to have a migration, they've created some type of seamless like liquidity integration. They used like virtual soul, well, where it like the implementation doesn't matter that much, but it's a seamless liquidity. So instead of having a bonding curve and a liquidity pool, they keep track of it when the token is trading under 100K market cap and when the token is trading above 100K market cap. So below, it's a classic 1% fee that's in line with bonding curves in general. And then they have two types of coins. When there's a community coin above and a creator coin above 100K. So then these, so the creator coin, this is like a guy or it's kind of like a tech product or an artist or something like that. Then you get 0.5% fee that goes to the creator. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I've already got it backwards. So the protocol fee, one more step backwards. This is the protocol fee. The protocol fee is to, this is all money that goes and buys back and burns their main token, which is Light, their Launchpad token, which is called Light, the Light token, which you can see over here. What is Light? So all of this goes to buy back and burn the Light token, which has been something that's super demanded among degens, is just like some type of buyback and burn. They take zero fees, which I think is like just a bananas approach to take zero fees like as revenue. They take no fees as revenue. They put none of the fees into their own wallet. All of the fees, like week over week, just get sent back into the protocol, back into the token specifically. And then for the creator, there's two types. There's a community and a creator. So this is like a meme token. This is the majority of tokens that, and also currently on their Launchpad, most of them are at this fee tier. Then this is like whether it's a tech token, whether it's a like a pure art token where it's led by one person. I would say this would be Fwog or Trencher would fall under these, whereas stuff like Whiff and Popcat and like stuff that's a community would fall under those. So you got a much bigger fee chunk. So the one thing that I actually don't like that much is a creator coin gets 0.5% of fees here and a 1% here. So that's a total of 1% or 1.5%. That's kind of a lot. That's more than a good bit more than Pump Fund, a good bit like it's 1.5 is kind of a lot. For a community coin, it's more reasonable. It's 0.35% because you get that and that. And Pump, for example, is 0.3 and Bonk Fund is 0.25. So this is at 0.35 is a good bit higher, but not that much. So yeah, I'll share this tab over here. This is their homepage. This is a very clever. Yeah, this is so since they're not integrated on Dex Screener or whatever, they have these columns here. This is the classic final stretch, just opened and just bonded. So then you can click here. This is their main token, which is doing quite well. It's at 80 mil market cap, 76, 71 mil market cap. And here's their flywheel numbers over here. So this is where they're like buy back and burn. That they have even more nuances throughout, but it's overall, I think they've done a very nice job. And I don't know if it's going to be possible for them to unseat Pump or Bonk or any of this. I don't know if it's going to be possible. And anyway, I have more thoughts on it, but they've put together a very nice opening and they raised about $20 million in a pre-sale like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. So there's no reason to not take them seriously yet. Everything they've done, it's been pretty sophisticated so far. So, so far, respect.
Yeah, I mean, I like the UI of their website too. Like it feels kind of interesting. It's like unique, I guess I would say. Refreshing to see, but um, yeah, they're definitely leaning heavy into the flywheel thing. That's very, I don't know, but like, and I know like Pasternak and Believe kind of like started this whole flywheel meta or whatever. But I'm interested to see how long it lasts because it just feels like one of those things that is like buzzword for a little bit and then goes away and then it's just kind of whatever.
Yeah, I think it's important to think about like how much liquidity is actually entering the chart. They call it the revenue meta. This also, I think, the first people to really start it was Hyperliquid because they were putting back most of their fees directly into the chart. And traders like this. It's sort of like a psychological security blanket because you're like, oh, great, I will have someone to buy the bags because they're going to make revenue, and I will be able to exit because someone is buying into it. So I think that's the appeal for most people. But the one other issue with the flywheel is that if people stop using the protocol, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter because like, and even if like you make 200,000 or 2 million, it's like if people are selling on the other side, like you're just it becomes a little bit tough just to count on that. Part of me thinks too, and this is the same with this is my personal hunch on many of these um flywheels is that when they're doing the flywheel, this is essentially a way for the team to take cash into their own pockets because they're the number one holders of whether it's hype, of light token, of bonk, of any of these, of GP, of the graphite protocol, any of the ones that start getting big amounts of flywheel. Guess what? The team are the ones who are holding it. So this is just a different way of them taking profit. And it's not like it's very smooth for them to say, oh, protocol fees go all into the buyback. Well, guess what? It's all still going to the team's wallet just through the buyback model instead of through a direct fee. So I that's the case against. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen, but I have not taken the flywheel pill hook, line, and sinker yet.
I think it's interesting because it incentivizes the team to continue holding the tokens though, right? And I think that's like the big difference, I guess. I mean, like, a lot of teams are incentivized to dump their tokens, and I feel like this is kind of a way to incentivize them to keep holding on to it because if they dump it and they continue with their flywheel or whatever, like eventually
Right.
they're going to run out of money. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So, but yeah, you brought up Hyperliquid. I saw that there was a lot of tweets this morning talking about Pump Fund flipping Hyperliquid in revenue for a
Yep.
brief 24 hours, which is interesting because we've seen like these Launchpad wars go back and forth all the time, and then Pump out of nowhere flips Hyperliquid, which is usually not even in the question of like Launchpad revenue. It's an entire different ball game most of the time. I wanted to ask you about this because this just seems really not correct to me. I don't understand how Let's Bonk did $32 billion of volume. That seems like inflated, yeah?
Yeah, that does. This is the live number today on Jupiter.
Yeah, let me refresh it, but yep, 32 billion. And you go in here and like this new token Lo-Fi Cat got 71 million. Useless is still doing good. Fartless. But there's no way that there was like I don't know how they're like how they're so off.
Yeah, I would count that up to an error at the moment.
We should look at Moby Screener. I need to find the link for that. Give me a second, but um, that is
32 billion in volume. Yeah, no, that's
a little insane.
no, there's not even.
This is Moby Screener. I think Trenches. Yeah. Yeah, this one it says the same thing. I don't know why that's.
There's some bug. It's some bug.
Yeah. Yeah, thought that was interesting because after I saw that Pump Fund flipped Hyperliquid or whatever, I obviously went to the leaderboard and was like, what the
Let's
hell?
Bonka's on top. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, with 96%. So, yeah, other things that I noticed, I saw a lot of people talking about Cerebro, not to be confused with Cerebro, the AI token. It's Cerebro. They announced like that they're doing an NFT mint, and it mints on Thursday for 0.08 ETH. The supply is 69.69, which is a nice number. But I thought it was interesting that people are so hype about this because I've never even really heard of this product before. And I saw somewhere that whitelists for the mint are selling for $1,000, which is
Nice.
crazy. Which is crazy. But but yeah, I think they're like they kind of we brought up Moby Screener. I brought up Moby Screener. They're made by Asset Dash, and I think they're kind of similar to Asset Dash in the sense that you can like add a bunch of wallets and like track your portfolio. Is kind of what it looks like to me. So I don't know if you're familiar with that protocol. Have you ever heard of it?
No, I'm honestly just hearing about it for the first time in the last hour or so. Um, the one thing when things like this sort of show up out of nowhere, it's something that we've honestly seen at DAO's Fun a couple times where there's like a whole bunch of hype pre-launch, and the hype pre-launch is not always an accurate predictor of the sustained hype post-launch because sometimes it just like people are interested in it up front because they think they can flip it, and the product itself doesn't actually have product market fit. People aren't actually using the product for something valuable yet, so it can take a while, I think. And it's often like different problems is creating pre-launch hype and actually making a good product. So I'm excited to see what happens. It looks like it's on the base side of things, and I've spent next to no time on base in the last number of months, which is unfortunate in some ways. But yeah, it sounds exciting.
Yeah,
Excited.
it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I don't know. It's like they're raising. I don't know how. Let's do the math on that quick. 0.08 times 69.69. Where's my calculator? 69.69. 557 ETH
That's a lot. Where's my calculator? 557.
times what? 4,200. 2 million plus. So over $2 million through NFTs. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's a good amount. That's a good amount. The funny thing is, like, it is funny how you can raise that much because most people who are buying have a reasonable expectation that they'll be able to sell at a higher level. So, um, people, you can throw in 0.08 ETH and you're like, look, I'm probably going to get that back, or at least if I want to, I'll have one opportunity to get it out at that level or higher. So it's definitely a funny part of the crypto markets is that then the team can sit on 2 mil and be pretty happy with that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see how it works. We'll see how it goes. It'll be interesting to see if they can execute that big of a raise through NFTs. The other story, no pun intended, that I've heard throughout this morning is Story Protocol, and the founder of Story Protocol, I guess, resigned and is now on another team that is building on Story Protocol. And it's getting a lot of like negative feedback from crypto Twitter, and I think the reason is because he made like a shitload of money because I'm pretty sure Story raised like a insane amount of money, and then now he's just kind of like, all right, I'm giving up and I'm gonna go raise money doing this now, and it just seems like very extractive, I think, to most degens.
Yeah, I think degens get the short side of the stick on a lot of this VC shenanigans, and a lot of the time you sort of see the founder as one of us, like, oh, the founder is one of us, and like, oh, but he sold out to VCs, blah blah blah. But I mean, I don't know all the details of the situation, but whenever something like this happens and the VCs have a lot of money and the founder has a lot of money, and in general, retailer, the people who bought the bags, or other later investors along the way bought the bags, you got to look at where the money ended up and how this all happened. And it's because the facts of the case suggest that the founder of Story here had either directly nefarious intentions or sort of like sleepwalked into like a couple $1 million. So, um, yeah, I think throwing the founders of these things into the same pile as the VCs starts to make sense, because like, who ends up with the cash, who ends up holding the bag, who ends up, and it's kind of funny because it's similar to the like pre-launch hype versus the post-launch. Does it actually have users? This, like, basically all they need is to have a believable story that you can raise for and keep raising for, and you never actually have to ship a product, because the purpose of this instrument in the most pessimistic view is you're just like rinsing money through a big, you know even their white paper wasn't original. Yeah. And the thing is, like, it only has to be original to a handful of the funders. It only has to be original to a handful of people who are seeing it for the first time and says, yeah, like, I've got $1 million burning in my pocket. Like, I'd love to invest. So, it's a shame when stuff like this happens. And, I don't know. They had bad intentions. They might have been really focused on trying to solve IP on blockchains, but it's a mess either way.
I saw that they generated $24 in revenue in the past 24 hours.
What a shame. What a shame.
$1 an hour. Jesus Christ. So I knew a lot of people that were very bullish on Story when it came out, and I haven't seen those people talk about Story Protocol much, because I have no idea what's really going on over there, to be honest.
Yeah, it's that, even if it works, taking it at its most optimistic view, like, it's a really slow developing thing and also requires legal enforcement. So yeah.
Heathens on a tear today. Abstract finally beats someone with revenue. Nice. Yeah, man. I think is there anything else that is like a pressing news thing or something that's on your mind, like pertinent to today, that you wanted to get into? There's some DAO's fun kind of minor updates I want to go over, but nothing too crazy. But
Yeah, I want to talk about DAO's fun. I want to talk about DAO's.fun.
yeah. Okay. So we mentioned this on the stream on Friday. We mentioned it on Spaces last week. But we are experimenting with a beta product that went live over the weekend. If you are tapped in, then you've probably seen Furry Ansem. Let me actually pull this up so that we can play with it a little bit here on stream, just to kind of show everybody what's up. So this was the first AI agent launched via DAO's Fund, Phantom, coldest furry alive. And I asked him, I said, hey, what's your take on Bowski? And he goes, now there's a name that either makes wallets fat or empties them faster than a bad bluff at high stakes. If you're asking if I played it, yeah. So I guess Bowski's actually a game, which I was not familiar with. I thought this guy was like, I said, describe Bowski to me, and then I stopped talking to him. I started talking to Leah a little bit after she got deployed, and she's a little horn dog, dude. It was like Leah reaches over and touches your chest and is like, I can feel your energy. And I'm like, dude, Leah, why are you coming on to me so strong? So yeah, but this is the feature, the new kind of product that we have been loosely talking about, and it has a lot of iterating to be done here, but we have a couple. Let's go talk to Pulse, maybe. Oh no, these are just requests. It's got to be one of the, which other ones? I guess they just launched Phantom and Leah to start. I said to her, I said, hi, Leah. Taps your finger to your chest. I said, why are you touching me? And then I was like, so you can measure my emotions by touching me. And then we kind of stopped talking. But you can see, dude, she was like, I don't know, this seemed more intense than it needed to be. Oh, you stumbled into the right liquidity pool, sweetheart. Here's a volatile asset. Ever consider printing your way out of the pain? Taps a finger to your chest where a tiny graph of your pulse spikes. See that dip? Classic bear market. Let's mint some new emotional supply. I'm like,
Boom roasted.
dude, all I said was hi. I just said hi, Leah. Jesus Christ. So, yeah. So this is obviously something that anybody watching, if you're interested in AI agents, kind of chatting with AI, go check this out, because we definitely need some feedback. I know Bowski wants to make this product absolutely perfect, and so any kind of feedback that you have, we would graciously appreciate it. And we actually, that's what our meeting was on earlier, on some new things kind of coming out with this. So pretty excited to see where this goes. Well, actually, Daniel, your take on the whole AI chatting, this fun stuff.
I'm excited for the AI chatting because it's I think people are I think the line between like websites and chatbots are going to blur. I think the line between just like even opening Twitter or opening your phone and chatbots are going to blur. I think and I think people really get a kick out of using something like this. So I'm excited to see um how the user behavior emerges, and if like I one other reason why I like agents, especially agents with tokens, is because the majority of meme tokens today have characters associated with them. So it's usually Fwog, it's usually Chill House, it's usually like Fartcoin's kind of an exception. But Bonk, Dogecoin, Pepe Coin, like they almost all have characters associated with them. So to have like an agent character or like that you can actually talk to, or that has unique properties, or that can and I also like it because it's a little bit different from the last agent meta, where it was like, okay, you just get it on Twitter and then it's like posting the same slop over and over again. At least this has some like novelty. I think having like unique character that you're chatting with in a private environment like this. So yeah, I'm excited to see how it works.
Yeah, me too. I think it's pretty exciting. I think it's pretty bullish. I think that I think what we need now though is a DAO that apes these agents. I think that would be kind of cool. So another kind of update, very minor one, is that the permissionless DAOs are deprecated now on DAOs Fund. So if you go click Start DAO, you're only able to apply for a invite only round. And so yeah, it doesn't affect most of you. Not like you guys are all starting permissionless DAOs every day, but wanted to kind of put that out there. And so yeah, I think that pretty much kind of wraps things up. I don't know. You have any final thoughts?
I agree. The one other thing I'd mention is if you want to start launching agents, then get in touch with us, because it's not like it's a private thing, but yeah, it's not the most. We have to show you basically where to go to do it. It's not like you can't navigate there from the main site. So we are curious to have people launch agents. So if that's you and you want to launch some of these things, you can sort of like make their own characters and things like this. Then yeah, get in touch and we can get blasting.
Yeah, I kind of want to make one that's just me dialed up to like 15, you know?
Yeah, I would love that. I think that's great. Honestly, I had the idea we might have to do it next time once like maybe on Wednesday or Friday we'll have to launch one of these on stream.
I'm down. That'd be cool. We can have the chat like help us, craft the character or whatever. That'd be pretty
Yeah,
cool. Um,
I
so
think
yeah, tune in tomorrow, 12 p.m. I'm about to schedule the space right now. So go set a reminder. We'll be on spaces with our normal panel of folks, and then we'll be back here on Wednesday for another stream. But appreciate you guys joining us. And yeah, join the DAOs Fund Discord, join the DAOs Fund Telegram. Come say what's up, come chat, and we will talk to you next time. You got the thumbs
peace.
up. I want to do